It's Tuesday the 26th and the time is 3:45 after the close. It's a quick capture of the day. Didn't do anything in the morning. I have been a short bias and still is. So this move up, I kind of stayed away from it. Had a couple of setups in here, but nothing that I could have taken. Nothing really stood out, so I stayed away. So with that said, I'll go ahead and move forward with the video. I'm looking into shorting to this level. This is the slope that's been working for me onto the short side. So I'm thinking we're going to move up to around 5,300 and sell it from there, put a limit in. And they stayed there pretty much all day. The video was paused and played, recording was paused and played all through the day just to make it where it's not too long. I'm trying to think what happened. And this is just a pause and it came back. Then this line in here was copied, moved downward. This seems to be holding. Again, the short bias is still on. But I needed to go up to me and fill me over here and to go short. I'm not going to buy it short in here. Sell it short. Go ahead and move forward. This is, if I had taken a short in here, this would have been my limit. Also thinking possibly there may be a long case in here. We may be going up. So I'm just looking at this. If we had moved down, flushed this or this line in here, and the same bar moved up and closed at the highs, then I'd be thinking long. I'd be thinking this area is going to stand, and we may be moving higher. I would have taken a trade for up to 5,300. Again, as the price moves and the slope moves down, I move my limit in with it. Same thing with the limit long. So I'm either limit long in here, and this is not a limit order put in. It is an order that it's a level that I watch, and if we break it, because this is against the trend that I think is happening today and the past few days, if it breaks it and moves back up and close on the high, then I will take a long in here somewhere. Otherwise, I'm still limit short in here. So the only trade I have, order I have, is short at 52.98, I think, or 97. Now in here, also you always have to look at the other side of the story, meaning what are the bulls thinking? I'm a bear and I got all my lines in here, but somebody else is going to be looking at this line and thinking, okay, is this going to hold? Are we into a new bullish trend? Are we going to move higher from there? So I have to see what they're seeing in order to keep a perspective of my trades for the next few hours. And this line, as you can see, it held really well. It had several points of contact. So if you start moving up and move up and close higher in here, I may even take out my limit short and just wait and then not take the trade at all, or take it onto a channel in here instead of taking it in here, or you start thinking long. So anything can and will happen. And I got it positioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had about 8 points of contacts, plenty of flushes in here, which meaning that it was a good line. There's nothing wrong with it. Of course, it didn't work out now in hindsight, knowing that, but you still have to keep an open mind and see what the bulls are looking at. And move forward. This is the channel in here. If we do flush this and move back and close into the highs, then I may possibly be short. But I'm starting to find a place for this line in here, top of the channel, and there was really no place for it. So I think I ended up removing it because you can't just force a line in there. It's just not going to make sense. I went ahead and removed it, and even the long is not really holding. It's just it's breaking it slowly. So I'm still bearish at this stage. Looking up, the price to move up to 50 to 97, and sell from there. And at this time also I start cleaning up old trend lines and old channels. I think I cleaned most of them, removed most of them. Yeah, anything I'm not using at this stage is done. I only have one slope, and this is the slope, and I copy it and move it. So are we stair stepping down or stair stepping up? It looks like we're stair stepping down. So we're moving in here. Next move maybe down between those two lines in here. I'm looking possibly long. No limit order is put in here. It's just a trade that may trigger at market if I see the price action acting the way I want it to. And I moved it even down further toward the open. So I think I'm going to go back to flat for the day, flush it a little bit, move up maybe higher, but the order was not put in here. It's just the level I'm watching. Now I'm looking in here, and right at this time in here, it's a 50-50 proposition. If anybody wants to trade in here, they're looking at those two lines from here and in here, possibly toward the trend channel, and so they can make exactly the same amount of points. This is copied down, so this is exactly equal. This is exactly equal to that. So it will be hard for institutional traders to decide on being long or short. The risk is exactly the same. There's no edge, so they left it alone. Now in here, that video was paused for a long time, and now it's 30 minutes toward closing the market. And usually I try to avoid trading after 2:30 Central Time Zone. That's what I'm trading at. So we see a flush in here, and if it was earlier in the day, those flushes are definitely buyable. The only difference is if we see this and we are trending down, we're flushing hard like this, we're moving down like this. Most of the time, or a majority of the time, or 80% of the time, in my view, we get a snapback that's good for 4 points, 4 or 5 points, sometimes even more, that you can utilize, and they're fast. You get in there, they flush this line, and everybody think this is just going all the way down 100 points or whatever, and it does not. It just starts coming back up again, and you'll make 4 or 5 points in minutes. And those are good trades, but not at 2:30. You wanna avoid that. So again, I'm looking in here, and continue to move. I'll move forward. So I'm looking in here. So what that means is not like I'm going to go long and take my target in here. What this means is, if this does flush, I may and can take, depending how fast it moves, take a long and take it for 4 points, but I'll exit for a quick scalp. But my main trade, my most important trade is a limit short in here. So at this stage, I can go ahead and put a limit order at 52.87 and just leave it there. Again, this is not being at 2:30, being 30 minutes to close. If it was earlier in the day, I would have done that. And obviously it continued. But I wanted to show something quickly. So even though this continued, it's really hard to see this bar. This is a 1 minute bar, 20-minute bar. And it looks like it's just straight down. But over on this line, even this line, there was a move right over here where I possibly would have taken a long flush of this one. There was a move for 5-6 points easily from here to here. And I think I zoomed in on it, and I'll show it here in just a little bit. And the same thing in here, we're going to have another flush from over here, in here, and this move would have been good back to. So now what I would have been doing, if the time was right for the day, I would move my limit short down to here. I will be short in here, or take a scalp for 4 or 5 points. And I'll show that here in a little bit. It's continued. You know, we do have some support below it. Again, it takes some heat. You know, so if you have a stop, it has to be below in here. Or you can add. So you can take a scalp in here. And this was good for 4 points. Then over here, you could have taken a short, added another one in here. I only add one time. And that would have been good back to here for 4 or 5 points. Or move your short down to here. And I think now there's 10 minutes to close, yeah. So I'm just watching those price levels, prepping for tomorrow, and still confirming that we do have a bearish bias in this market. It's looking for any reason to sell at this stage, I think. So yeah, I zoomed in here. So if you look over here, I think I zoomed into the time frame to show that there was a trade in here. This flush in here, this flush, if you've taken it in here, there was a trade for 2 to 4 points easily. This move in here. And the same thing over here. If you look in here, you could have been along in here, did take some heat, but there's another trade for 5-6 points in here that I could have taken. But at 250, of course, is not a good time to be trading at all. So I flushed again. And this is even a better trade in here. It's better setup to move up a few points from this level. Even though I zoomed out again. I moved into the shorter time frame. Yeah, you see it's over here, starting to move back up again. See, if you've taken it in here or took this flush in here, that's good for, that's from 67, 68, we're at 70, and I think we continued moving up. So you could have scalped this a few times. Yeah, I just moved in over here, I moved into the 1 minute to kind of show my setup, the counter trade setup. That's if you go to the 1 minute, I'll pause this. Over here, flushed it, even though I'm thinking short, but this flush could have been taken up from 73 up to 78, that's 5 points. This flush in here would have been taken from 67 to 72, I think it went. So at least 4 points. And I think counter trend trades 4 points, no more than that, because some of those moves can be quite violent, especially with the sell-offs. Move forward. I'm just watching, and I can just say that now, I did not trade at all today. It's sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. So I kept looking and looking and looking, and there was just not a good setup for me to take. So I had 0 trades. And that's something that a trader has an advantage is you can just sit on your hand and not do anything, and that's just as a good of a trade than taking long or short. Of course, the short really worked nicely, but in here you have no idea. Could have easily snapped back up in here and moved higher, so no one knows. Again, I'm looking at the shorter time frames to show that there was long setups in here. That's the 1 minute. Moved up, and I think they moved even higher think, let me look at the price here a little bit. Yeah, it did. This setup in here was actually good. I'm looking at the price for 10 points. This could have made you 10 points easily. You would have been filled with no problems at all. If you traded in here, even a little bit in here at 69, you could have gotten 4 or 5 points out of it with no problems at all, with very minimal amount of heat. So start moving forward. So right over here, this close, it's a flush, moved a little higher. You could have been in at 65, and that easily made 10 points, but you could have made right over here, you see 4 points with like 30 seconds. Yeah, right over here, 69, I paused it, moved it, 63, 70, 7, 8, 10 points, and just get down going back up to here. So if I had enough time, then I would be short. I would have been short either here and added to it in here, or just short full position and just waited on it. So, that's the day. I found a way that I can easily put my previous trades. I just didn't know I could click 7 days in here and I can show all my previous day trade. I thought I'd just see one day. So I'll keep those in here. No trades today. So that's a day. It's a day with no trades at all. And I think I took a snapshot just now. This is, just as over here again. This move up, I'm not saying take it long, but I'm saying take it short in here somewhere and wait for it to go down again. If you missed it, then you come back to the still down to the second level, take a short over here and wait for it to roll down if you want to do an overnight trade. Or you can take the counter here for 4 points. 4 points. This one is 4 plus. Obviously, this one made from 65 went up to 72. So that's 7 points. If you'd have taken it to 63, it would have been 10 points easily. That's a day, and I'll hopefully have more setups or trades tomorrow.